Hello, my name is Sheldon and welcome back for another episode of richest in Supreme Ruler Ultimate. Okay, I can't talk today. That's a good start. Anyway, last time we left off as we had paid off our debt and all that. So now, skip ahead a little bit. We are about to get the new research center completed. There's not really been anything too important. We have, well, actually, there is something that is quite good to know is that we've bought the T-55 model from the Russians. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much use that will see. We're not going to be declaring wars anytime soon. I did actually already record this and the next episode once. And I tried to declare war on Angola, but that ended horribly. We were utterly unprepared for that. Now, also, another thing that we should probably get into tax here is ultra large bore artillery rifles. Because at least the Russians don't have that. We might be able to sell it to them. And then the improved race management is something that we do need. And then we are also going to build a new research center in here. Because we might as well. Our economic situation is a bit bad right now. And I'm pretty sure that the food price hasn't dropped yet. But last time, oh yeah, it is actually dropping quite drastically now. Let's lower the minimum price already a little bit, because it is going to hit that soon enough. And yeah, labor shortage 2.8%. I'm also going to start reducing my capacity of producing agriculture, because the cost is going to go up, and the sale price is just going to be dropping quite drastically. So I'm going to go to like 60 pence right now, which could still get some money out of it, but it's probably not going to be very viable for much longer, unfortunately. So basically what we're going to do is just produce enough to make sure that we cover our own needs. And we'll have enough capacity there that if need be, we can just increase it to meet if we get a lot more population and all that sort of stuff. Speaking of population, we do have 68 million already, and we are increasing about 1.5 million, well actually 1.3 million-ish per year right now. Which isn't too bad, to say the least. Now, our troops are quite low in numbers, but one thing that I will have to get in against the Angolans... hold on, let me transport. Get some more trenches over here. At least get this area defended better. Because what happened in that, like, I managed to take that without too many casualties. There was a lot of... Oh, actually, that's something that we do need. We need to get a anti-aircraft gun design. Preferably something that has long range. So Guideline would have kind of okay range, and it does okay damage, but I think Grumble over here is going to be much better. Now, the build cost is quite massive, and it's going to take a long time to build as well. But yeah, I'm just going to buy the blueprint for this. 1.6 billion. Oh dear. So yeah, that's going to take some time. And the trenches have already been built. Now, another thing that I should probably do is lock the minister from the controls for the garrisons for the time being, so I can make sure that I have at least some proper garrisons over here in case there's a war. Last time I did start justifying a war against them a little bit, like just supporting the opposition, but this time I think I'm not going to even do that quite yet. Frankly, that was... he spent a decent bit of money, quite frankly, and then, of course, it didn't really pay out all that well. Mostly because I wasn't fighting just them, but all the units that they had sold to other nations that are still in their country, I would have to fight them as well. So that was a bit of an awkward situation. Fighting Syrian troops and all that sort of stuff. Syria being kind of a dead nation so far. Alright now, so... yeah, that was a bit of a unfortunate turn of events. But luckily on this timeline it hasn't happened yet. Eventually we will probably fight a war against Angola and all that, but right now I think we just need to hold back. Make sure our economy is strong. And all that. I mean, our economy is doing okay right now. We've got still 16 billion. And we are actually... oh yeah, there we go. We saw a decent bit of lumber again. Or timber. And... Kuwait and Slovenia formed alliance, and Kuwait... oh wait, no. Kuwait and Slovenia and Morocco and Costa Rica. Interesting alliances, that's for sure. Now, we are also building up some elite guards, which will be useful in the long run, I reckon. Well, like, they are pretty good at assaulting cities and that sort of stuff. And they can kind of defend in places like this, but it's... if there's enough enemies, you just get overrun. So you'll need to have a lot of the places so they can't just... a decent bit of the... I mean, honestly, what I could do, I could just build this entire front line with trenches. Which actually is quite cheap. So I'm going to do that. Also, what I should probably do instead is get rid of this trench here. Just going to move these to the side a little bit. We'll get proper fortifications in here. We're just going to cost, but again, it's for the good of our people, so to speak. Right, so that would be military, fortification. Is it I think it is fortification. No, fortification can be built anywhere, so it's not that. It's... is it military base? It's a military complex, but that's not it. Supply depot. I'm trying to figure out. I know that there is another set of something. I don't remember what it is. Anyway, we got a trade deal. Niger wants to buy some consumer goods at a pretty good price. Sure, I'll take the money. I suppose if I do build the fortification in there, it's going to build up the... oh yeah, it is going to make it into a military complex. No, 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 no. I don't want that. Cancel construction and cancel construction. Maybe we haven't unlocked that then. Because I remember that at least in the Columbian Space Initiative series we did have some sort of fortification building, but I don't remember what the name of that thing was. It's not industrial, I'm pretty sure about that. Just double checking though. It's industrial complex. You can build fortifications in the industrial stuff as well. Interesting. What about urban? Pretty sure that's not here, but I'm just gonna double check in case it's somewhere odd place. Nope, it's not there. You want to buy some more consumer goods? Sure. Vietnam and Panama allied, okay. And Taiwan wants to buy some more metal ore, and you are wanting to buy some rubber, okay. So Lebanon, so we got a lot of trade deals going on, that's for sure. And that is actually quite nice. Okay, so I guess since we don't really have the option for proper fortifications other than through the military complex, which technically would allow us to get like fortifications, gun emplacement, we could even make this into a land production place. Which might not be the worst. And other than that, I suppose I could do quite easily just get another barracks down here. Which, yeah, it's going to be right on there. And then we could maybe get a barracks somewhere over here as well. Just in case, but we got these now. Might as well get the garrisons. Now, this is going to be quite costly in the long run. So, having these garrisons in here. But I think it will be alright. Alright, you want even more consumer goods. I mean, you are buying quite a bit of the consumer goods. I have a feeling that we have basically... well, our stockpile is quite small at this stage. It's like 50,000 tons. I mean, that's 48,000 tons. So yeah, that is... I mean, at least we're getting money out of it. So it's some good, some bad. But yeah, if we wanted to kind of lower the relations that we have with Angola, we could just support the opposition and then just lower the insurgency funding into like, well, actually we'll probably do that already, lower it to like 1/4 of the max, so it would be around 50% of the recommended. Then we can see that we got about 60,000 active personnel in our army. And we got about 40,000 reserve personnel. Reserve personnel are trained over time and can be affected by increasing the maintenance and training funding to a certain degree. But it will take time to get a proper or large reserves. Okay, so we are gathering the elite guards there. I believe we have some tanks already. I mean, we got 3 of the T-55s. Not great, not terrible. Right, so you are wanting to buy rubber, sure. Again, we're not really getting the full price back from the rubber because the production cost for us is just quite massive, I'm afraid. Although it's going down slightly. Oh, and there we go. Aircraft piston engine tech upgrade done. The next one would be advanced aircraft piston engines, but we're not going to do that quite yet. Although even that would be 1942 tech, so we will not have access to a lot of good planes quite yet, I'm afraid. That reminds me, we got quite a few of these elite guards underway there. Oh, another thing that we should do is, I realized that these missile artillery, or rocket artillery, is just so small range that it's practically useless. So we're going to scrap these 5, I'm going to build some extras as a replacement, or some better artillery as a replacement. Oh, not necessarily better, but longer range artillery as a... Anyway. We'll put those in there. And we got the barracks completed. And you want to buy even more consumer goods? Yeah, starting to buy a bit less at least now. So not robbing me completely dry. And also another thing that I should do, because we're only getting 5 tanks, well, I want to put in 2 combat engineers into that group as well. So we have a group of 5 tanks and 2 combat engineers then. Also, I suppose I could just move this group down here somewhere. Not that it's going to be building anything, but it's just for combat purposes. So the artillery upgrade, technically it doesn't unlock anything directly. Not for us anyway. It might be... Pakistan. Oh, they would get an artillery piece. But yeah, we can slowly get our way up on the list here. On the text, of course, it's going to take a lot of unlocking other things first, but you know, over time, I'm sure that we can achieve that. Now, another thing that we should do is improve our relations with Russia a little bit. I'm going to do the criminal extradition. It's probably going to cost us a bit of extra, because at least in the previous deals, they usually want to get some. Okay, yeah, that's 30 million extra. But you know, it's another deal with them. They'll like that a bit more. How many nations are they allied with? Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. I mean, those all do make sense. They are nearby to them. Right, so how many garrisons do we have here? Only 7. So since we don't really have access to the fortification yet, we'll just rebuild the trench in... Hold on a minute, what was that? Emplacement. Oh, that's the one. There we go. Now we remember. Suppose I could just entrench you in there. Help build that emplacement. Then we're going to build in some fortifications and gun emplacement, that sort of stuff in there. Another thing that I should do, which I forgot to redo, is just switch this from demand to capacity. We'll just go like 50% capacity on the industrial, or not, military goods production, that is. So our production has started. You're still buying consumer goods. A bit less now. Yeah, we're down to 26,000 anyway. I assume we can't trade more with them, unfortunately. Because our reserves are just way too small. Now, how's the agriculture price? So it's actually still a little bit higher than I expected. Oh well, it's still making its way down actually. So yeah, it's gonna be dropping drastically. Now, hopefully we should be getting the advanced industrial production by the end of the year, and we should also, before that, we should be getting the new research center, hopefully. Finland and Bahamas have formed alliance. I think that might be some sort of banking deal going on in there. But yeah, we'll need to get some troops over here as well. We got some garrisons already in these places. How much do we have total now? 73,000 and 38,000 in reserve. So not massive military still. Consumer goods now, that would be how much total? 3,500, 3,600. Actually, probably even more than that, but yeah, it's probably still worthwhile selling, although soon enough we won't have reserve to sell. So we'll have to stop that soon enough. Congo is going to be probably sailing troops through here again along the river. So what we could do is just get some troops over there. So if they do sail through there, because it is technically our river, but still there, we can just get rid of them. And it would also give us a bit of war justification against them. I think Congo might be a bit easier. Oh, there's just troops going to India right now, I think. Well, I think they're just trying to go somewhere. They'll be somewhere in the border here. So if we declare war on them, then I have a feeling that a lot of the units in there will try to then go through our territory and conquer lands for them and fight our troops. So that's... Oh, wait, no, that might not be India. It may be still Nigeria. But anyway, I think we're going to stop trading with them, with the consumer goods. Well, it is good in money. It's also the fact that we are running really low on consumer goods. So I'm afraid that you'll just have to buy them from the international markets, where we are indeed selling. Actually, the top exporter right now, well, that might be because there's a day again where USA and other big nations are not selling anything. Yeah, there we go. Not even close to the max. I mean, we are selling reliably at least. The unemployment is slowly increasing, which is going to be good because while we are having a labor shortage, as we are right now, it will have quite an effect on our production costs, which is certainly not a good idea, or not a good thing for us anyway. Right, so the emplacement is almost done. And of course it's probably going to be costing a decent bit. As an upkeep. Oh, well, actually not necessarily all that much. But there we go, we got a pretty good emplacement in here now. We can make sure that we have full garrison in there, because this is going to be a really important place to defend. I think we'll put one fortification and then like 2 gun positions or something like that in there to get started. Right, so that would be military. Fortification. Annual maintenance is 3 million. That's not too bad yet. And in fortifications you can have a decent bit of missiles actually as well. Oh, right, do we have the air defense? We do. Right, let's get one there. Can't get it in there, unfortunately. Could get one in there, I suppose. But let's go ahead and build the fortification. Oh, it cannot be built fortifications in there. Okay, so is fortification actually... No, it's a different thing. There's no room in there, so that's why we can't build it there. And these cannot, of course, get any. So does that allow us to build at least gun emplacements here? Or was this a terrible mistake? It may have been a terrible mistake. Okay, so yeah, you can't place anything in the emplacement by the looks of it. Same like the trenches. Oh, still labor shortage. I mean, it's still better than nothing, I would say. Like, it does give a lot more fortification. Or defense bonus, I'm assuming. And we can have a garrison of 7 troops there. So we can still work with that, and it should still be able to destroy quite a few enemy units before they break through. We'll make our own Maginot line here. I think the trenches over here will be good enough for the time being. How good is the supply over there? 85%, okay. Ooh, another thing that I suppose I could do to reduce the cost is because our infrastructure rating is pretty good. 112%. We could lower the funding to like 85 million or something like that. And still have it around 100%. It also means that there's a bit less people working in for the infrastructure. Of course, it's also going to lower the efficiency of buildings. Or the how much the supplies is spread and all that. But at the same time, I think that may be worthwhile. Is that extra expert? Oh wait, no, that was just something that we didn't sell for a day. Probably timber. Yeah, timber. How much are we still... Oh, no, the price hasn't dropped that much. Let me increase the production of agriculture then a little bit. Hopefully we'll still be able to sell it most of the time. Although the says the unfavorable selling conditions. So that may just drop the price quite drastically soon enough. But anyway, the air defenses are going to be built soon. I mean, that's going to allow us to, because we know that there's an air base there, and there's probably going to be a lot of planes in there as well. So we're going to at least kind of defend against that. Do we have the... We do have the air base in there. If we were to get the aircraft production thing... I mean, I'm pretty sure that we don't have any designs, unfortunately. Yeah, we have no plane designs whatsoever. And of course, our air tech is so much behind that. We probably wouldn't be getting any anyway. But, how much do we now have? So we've got 75,000 active personnel in the military, and we got about 49,000 reserves. So the reserves are going up. Not necessarily quickly, but they are going up. And we do have the industrial goods factory in here, which I'm not entirely sure if we need... I mean... It might be alright. Except the fact that we still have 2.8% unemployment, which is really small. Romania and Panama have allied. Alright then. So we are still waiting for more of the elite cars to be built, and this group is still waiting for that tank, and then we'll be getting a lot of the artillery and then the combat engineers. The artillery is going to be really good somewhere down here, probably, so that it can shoot down anything that gets close, but it's far enough so that it's not going to be immediately destroyed by the enemy. I suppose what I could do, actually, down here is build a trench over there for the artillery to be in. It allows them to entrench a bit better, and they can't be targeted as easily. So it's a relatively cheap option. And it's quick to build and all that, so yeah. Having some sort of, especially if you're planning on defensive positions, then having your artillery be entrenched somewhere. I mean, it can also be in like a city or something like that, and that could work really well. But that just gives them that extra protection that they need. Because artillery is really vulnerable. Let's just put it that way. Actually, speaking of artillery, let's move this group in here. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's not going to be any war between us and Angola quite yet. They have a 38% war justification, but it's been around there for most of the time. Unless we start doing some insurgency stuff against them, they won't get a high war justification against us. They might still declare war on us, even if they don't have that, but so far so good. I think we are mostly safe. And especially with the garrisons on the border here, we should be alright. Although, another thing we do need to do is we need to set up some garrisons down here, I have a feeling. Just in case. We don't have a lot of troops in there. But there might be some, like, who is this again? Burundi, for example, may have, or Burundi, or is this Rwanda? Yeah, one of these may have sold troops to Angola, or might sell troops to Angola as soon as the war starts. So we may want to keep some garrisons pretty much, at least near the borders. And also down here, a couple of units there, and yeah, that should be alright. Labour shortage is 2.8%. Of course, the people that are in your military are away from the workforce. The reserves are not, I'm pretty sure. But the active personnel are away from your workforce. Of course, considering that we have a nation of 68.5 million, it's not really that bad. Considering that we got, what, 75,000 in the military. So that is, in the end, quite a small amount. GDP has gone up to 2,300. Which means that we are at least relatively high in... If you have a look at the population, I mean, we are not on the front page there, but like 2,300. So there's at least Ethiopia, Nigeria, and India that are lower on the points, not the GDP per capita. Micronesia and Jordan have formed allies, or alliance. Okay, that's a bit surprising to be fair. It is a bit surprising, but other than that, yeah, sure enough, I suppose. But yeah, we're gonna get the artillery upgrade, and it's probably gonna be the advanced industrial production. Well, that is gonna be the next one after that. We'll try to get the improved waste management as well, because that's gonna unlock the improved waste incineration, also manufacturing improvements, which is really important. So both of these are really good, because this one increases the power that the cities themselves generate by 10%. Because every city will produce a little bit. I think it's kind of dependent on how much there's population in there, but it will still produce a little bit of electricity. So increasing that is just gonna save us a decent bit of money in the long run, because we are importing a lot of electricity. It's not really a massive price, it's like a few million a day, I think. Where do we see that again? Last day trades, well, it's 18 million again already, so it is actually quite large. And actually something that we may need to look into, maybe start producing a bit more electricity somewhere. I mean, did we build one of these? I think we did build one of the hydropower plants. But getting more hydropower, for example, would not be a bad idea. It doesn't pollute much, just provide a decent bit of power. Or another thing that we could do is first get a uranium mine and then get a nuclear power plant or something like that. Although nuclear power plants have a high cost to build, although the electricity price is probably not very high. They produce pretty good amount of electricity, and the upkeep, well, the upkeep is probably a bit higher than many other things considered. But anyway, we are going to have to end the episode here. We're going to do a time skip to at least get the advanced industrial, or around when we have the advanced industrial production to be completed. So it's probably going to be somewhere at the end of the year, like December. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.